can I sponsor my cousin to work for my company? I often being asked by a lot of small business owners about this question. First of all, let's be clear about that. We always really want to focus about the company's operation. This is a priority. Australia government is in favor about the supporting small business. The position itself is created to help your cousin come to Australia, or it's actually that person cannot find locally, but your cousin actually fulfill with that position. Usually, sometimes it's not the case. It's that the employer just create a job, create a company in order to sponsor the cousin, not to actually find the talents. So usually government department look really closely, and it has that potential of refusal if they find that that position is actually created to help someone sponsor instead of helping the company. So, of course, in rare situations, the department may say, it turns out to be that your cousin is an agricultural consultant and you have a piece of land that's growing, carrots, that type of vegetables, only he's qualified. And because he's worked in the farm in the past for family in South Africa a few years ago, I don't think that's a problem. Because that is the person supposed to be the best candidate who can help the farm right now. So really not about the stock. It's not about whether or not you can bring a cousin to Australia. Really about the position itself. Whether that candidate, shall we say, that potential employee is most suitable for that position. And you cannot find the talents locally. You have to really show your attempts, your effort, trying to find talents locally, but you couldn't. So that has to be evidence-based, which means you have done some advertisement online or newspapers. Now they will use online, have to be in publishing public domains that can be found by general public. So if you publish something online in your website, nobody, although probably you are a very big company, but we are not searching jobs from your company. We search in Seek, .com.au, Indeed, or Zora. Okay, sorry, university job board or government job board. So you have to really find a public domains, not allowing general public to find that job description and to find the jobs opening. So everybody is able to submit the CV to shortlist it. Okay, so that it doesn't matter. So, but how about other questions about, I just want to bring my father-in-law, and therefore I'm going to create a company, right, today. So a few months later, I'm going to sponsor my father-in-law. That it's not going to be okay, because the business, they look at the business size, whether I think it's family business, you can run well without that. In that case, that the government look at closely of your turnover. Anything below 1 million of turnover to be considered very, very careful about who do you sponsor to. Okay, and they also want to check the history of operation. If they just created yesterday and they want to sponsor a father-in-law to work for whatever positions, that's not considered a genuine position. Genuine position here, it's really considered human common sense. Okay, like a general ordinary layperson, what would they think about that position? It's not created to bring your relative into Australia, or whether this position is genuinely needed, and that you cannot find talents locally. So we don't support that. Even for my position, I don't support employers, companies want to create a company, because it's easy in Australia, just register a company and then say, oh, well, I've got my parents-in-law, I sponsor, like they're going to bring money in, so in return, I will return. Find that way. Okay, another question being often asked, can I self-sponsor? Can I just, register company and bring 200,000 in and sponsor myself in a share? Can I do that? See, it's not going to be a really good case for the parents, okay? Because, again, really depends. If you run the company you have a company in overseas, in Malaysia, for instance, and you have run like 20 years, and you want to expand the business really big. Wow, I have 10 million turnover minimum US dollar, that you want to say expand my market in Australia. I, as executive, I want there to run my company. Can I do that? Yes. You can be sponsored by your company in Malaysia to work for a new entity in Australia. It's brand new, just registered, becoming registered. So it can be sponsored by your overseas entity in Malaysia for the first step. And come to Australia after that. You work for the company, of course, for a certain time, certain year, right? Assuming that's one financial year. And then the company, the entity in Australia, then come back sponsor you again, which is second step. Then that company entity in Australia, if you require to work permanently, can sponsor you on the 186 visa, which is employer sponsor stream, permanent stream, after 2 years working for the same entity. So same company. Here it's the same Australian company. So when you sponsor them under 186 visa, remember that the calculation of 2 years starts from the day you work for the same Australian entity. Now, if this is the case, is that considered self-sponsoring? No, because you are not self-sponsoring. You really need you to come from an overseas company to an Australian company, an Australian entity. That is fine too. Okay. Now, usually in this case, candidate may say, you know what, I want to sponsor myself on a 186 direct entry. Direct entry, the difference between direct entry 186 and the skill in demand is really about permanent stream, right? 186 permanent stream, of course, you need a candidate to pass skill assessment plus IELTS 6 on each band, depending on the size of the company. And it's a common sense. If your size of company, million in the past, then you first never came to Australia, now you want to sponsor them permanently, considering you already have an entity in Malaysia, then why is the case? How do you so certain about you're going to stay here in Australia permanently in the unknown market, right? So this is not considered a best strategy. I would really highly recommend you to sponsor use the Malaysian entity sponsor you on a 482 temporary visa first. When you come to Australia, work for the new entity, then use the new entity sponsor you again on a 482 visa. That's considered transit. Oh, the question will be, why do I bother? I mean, can I just register a new entity first and then sponsor that? Now, the new entity, it's not operated yet. Now, who's going to operate? You need someone to operate. You need someone to come in, operate first. That's the reason you need that overseas employer, which is maybe your own company, right, in Malaysia to sponsor you. That works fine, okay? So come to the common sense of what do you think the operation company will operate which way, okay? If I want to expand my company in United States, do I just go there permanently, stay there? I have a company here in Brisbane. No, I will probably apply for temporary work visa first. See how the market goes. I might spend on 2 or 3 years. I say, okay, done. It's a really small market. I can't do this anymore. Bye. And you go back to your home country, which is Australia. Now, in this case, my home area may be China or Australia because I originally migrated from China or England. I spent 15 years study and work there and then build my family there. So that's the common sense question. Okay, you can be self-sponsored provided that you have an entity overseas. That entity overseas wants to expand the market in Australia. You have to have a reason to come over. I hope this helps you. If you want to sponsor anyone, tell me and then hit the description below and then book a consultation with us.